The vault of trust. Trust for me was never fragile. It wasn't something that shifted with the winds of doubt or broke at the first strain of pressure. My trust was a vault, solid, fortified, and sealed with the weight of every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every act of loyalty I had given my family. I thought it was indestructible. I thought it could withstand anything. But vaults don't usually shatter from the outside. They crack from within. The lock I believed unbreakable was forced open, not by an enemy, not by a stranger, but by my own brother. And when the dust settled, I was left staring at the wreckage of everything I thought was sacred. Do you know what it feels like to discover that the person you'd take a bullet for, the one you raised and protected, was the same one holding the crowbar? That was the day my life tilted, and I have never been the same. My name is Lucia Rivera, 35 years old. I work as a forensic accountant at Sterling & West, a prestigious financial firm in the city. Numbers are my sanctuary. They are clean, precise, honest. They don't twist themselves into lies the way people do. Every decimal point is a truth. Every ledger a silent confession. For years, I unraveled the hidden deceptions buried in corporate books. I could smell fraud in balance sheets the way a bloodhound scents prey. What I never imagined was that I would one day need to turn those same skills inward, toward my own family, toward the people I believed were my home. The unraveling began when my mother, Elena, was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. A brutal kind. The kind that eats through not only a body but every scrap of hope around it. I didn't hesitate for even a second. I had built a life of discipline, of savings, of financial caution, and all of it suddenly had one purpose: to keep her alive for as long as possible. I transferred $90,000 into a bank account specifically for her medical care. I called my younger brother Nico and told him, "Use it for Mom. Every treatment, every bill. Whatever she needs, it's hers." Nico was supposed to be my anchor in this storm. He lived barely an hour away from Mom's modest house in Willow Creek. He was the one close enough to drive her to appointments, pick up medications, sit beside her during chemo. And he wasn't just my brother. He was the boy I had practically raised. When our father died suddenly of a heart attack, I was 16. Nico was 10. I became his second parent overnight. I worked part-time jobs, studied, and cooked meals for him. I paid for his community college, bought him his first suit when he was job hunting, even gave him the down payment for his condo. My life was a series of stepping stones laid for his success. So when he texted me updates about Mom, "New chemo looks promising," or "Doctor's optimistic," I believed him. Why wouldn't I? His words tethered me to her when I couldn't be physically present. Until the day they snapped. It was during one of my weekly calls with Mom. Her voice was frail, fragile, stretched thin like paper about to tear. "The pain's worse, Lucia," she whispered. "They won't schedule the next round until we pay something." I dropped my coffee mug. It shattered against the floor, porcelain shards scattering. "Pay? What do you mean? I already sent $90,000 for your care." There was silence. Then Mom, her voice trembling with confusion. "Sweetheart, I never saw a dime." My blood went cold. The very next morning, I marched into Crescent Trust Bank, my heels echoing against the marble floor like gunshots. The security chief, Mr. Carver, looked at me with heavy eyes, as if pitying me for what I was about to see. "You're certain you want this, Miss Rivera?" he asked, holding out a USB drive. My throat was tight, but I nodded. The footage was grainy, but truth doesn't need high definition to hurt. There was Nico, on March 22nd at 1:47 p.m., dressed in a charcoal suit I didn't recognize. He slid a document across the teller's counter, a power of attorney with my signature. Only it wasn't my signature. It was forged. Minutes later, Nico walked out with a cashier's check, every cent of the $90,000 I had sent. The bank traced the money. Within weeks it was siphoned into car dealerships, jewelry stores, and a shady cryptocurrency exchange that practically screamed scam. I felt sick. Betrayal has a weight, a suffocating heaviness that settles on your chest until you can hardly breathe. That same evening, Nico sent a message in the family group chat. "Emergency meeting at Mom's. 7 p.m. Her bills are piling up. Everyone needs to step up." I drove 3 hours, my hands gripping the steering wheel like it was Nico's throat. The living room reeked of lavender candles, trying and failing to mask the stench of illness. Mom sat in her faded armchair, hollow-cheeked, her hands twisting in her lap. Nico stood by the couch, his wife Clara beside him, her new diamond earrings glittering like a confession. My sister Sophia perched on a stool, her husband Leo looming behind her. Aunt Carla and Uncle Ray had driven in from out of town, their faces stiff with concern. Nico started, his tone dripping with rehearsed sincerity. Lucia, you're the big shot in the city. Mom's drowning in debt and you've done nothing. Sophia's voice cut in sharp and accusing. You promised to cover her care. Where's the money? The room buzzed with murmurs. Clara dabbed dry eyes with a tissue. Aunt Carla muttered about my fancy job. And through it all, Mom just looked bewildered, as if she couldn't untangle the truth from the lies. That was when I set my laptop on the coffee table. My movements were calm, deliberate, surgical. Since we're discussing money, I said, my voice low but steady, let's watch something together. Nico's eyes darted nervously as I connected to the TV. What's this? He snapped, his mask cracking. I smiled, cold as winter. Crescent Trust. They send their regards. The footage played. Nico on screen, sliding the forged document, pocketing the check. The silence that followed was suffocating. Faces paled. Eyes darted. Clara's earrings suddenly looked like lead weights. Sophia's lips parted, then closed again. I narrated like a prosecutor before a jury. 40,000 to Willow Creek Auto for that shiny new SUV. 25,000 to a jeweler, for Clara's upgrade. 20,000 to a crypto platform under FBI investigation. Care to explain, Nico? Mom's voice cracked the silence. Nico, what did you do? His confidence crumbled. It was an investment, Lucia. I was going to triple it, pay it back. I stepped closer, my voice ablade. You mean the 90,000 you stole? Or the 50,000 you siphoned from Mom's savings last year under the guise of a trust fund? Sophia gasped. You said that went to her care. And the 30,000 funneled into your boutique, Sophia? I continued mercilessly. Or the 15,000 Uncle Ray borrowed for his boat? The room was a graveyard of secrets. Every face a tombstone. Then Clara broke. Her voice sharp, desperate. I have proof, texts, emails, transfers. Nico forged my name too. I'll give you everything if you keep me out of it. Nico lunged at her, his face twisted with panic. I stepped between them, my voice ice. Touch her and I'll call the DA right now. I laid down the terms as though I were both judge and executioner. They would sign confessions. Repay every cent with interest. Surrender assets bought with stolen funds. Nico's SUV keys landed in my palm with a dull clink. Clara's earrings followed, glittering like broken promises. I had already secured Mom's house, blocking the fraudulent loan Nico had attempted to push through. Her care was safe now, locked in an account only she and I could touch. One by one they signed. Their hands trembled, their lies exposed under the harsh light of truth. When it was done, I knelt beside Mom. Her frail hand rested in mine. I'm so sorry, I whispered. I should have checked the hospital directly. I should have seen sooner. Her eyes, wet with tears, held no anger. Only sorrow. You trusted him, Lucia. We all did. Trust, I have learned, is not indestructible. It is not a vault sealed forever. It is more like glass, seemingly strong, but a single crack can spread until it shatters in your hands. I rebuilt the vault for my mother, brick by brick, ensuring her safety and care. But inside me, something has changed. The lock feels weaker, the steel thinner. Betrayal leaves scars that no ledger can balance, no justice can erase. And I wonder, have you ever been betrayed by someone you loved? By someone you believed was family? How did you pick up the pieces? Because I am still learning how to hold mine together.